Monday, December 21st, 2020. I'm Greg Nibbler, and this is 2 Box Live. Yes, indeed. Hello, everyone. Like I said, I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you for joining us. Wherever you are, we appreciate it. Hit subscribe to 2 Box Media, TWO Box Media. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're finding us, you can always go to the website, get more information on us, tell other people about it. But we are here live, like I said, and we've got a lot on today's show. We've got Rick Stella from Business Insider, who's going to join us here in just a little bit to talk about home and fitness and starting up your own home gym. But before that, we have lots of news to talk about and a lot of things to bring you. Let's start off with the biggest conundrum to probably ever happen to the video game industry, at least as of now. Cyberpunk 2077. Good Lord, what a mess. So here is where we are at right now. I just kind of want to bring everybody up to speed on what's happening. If you have the game, there's some news for you too if you're looking for a refund. And a lot of people are out there, and that's because of a bunch of those glitches that are happening when it comes to the game. In particular, for those on those ancient systems like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One that are so old and completely out of date by like a month and a half, how dare you use those? So with all these issues that have happened, there's a lot of videos that have been popping up of people showcasing some of the glitches that occur. There's some more things to be concerned about with that, but that's kind of where we're at with PlayStation now having officially banned it, or not banned it, but they stopped selling it in the PlayStation Store. This is, again, one of the most anticipated video game releases in probably the last several years at least, particularly over the last couple of years for sure, because everybody's been wanting to see this game. It's highly anticipated. It was delayed multiple times and probably should have been delayed a little longer. Of note, reports are saying that people on the newer consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series S, that they're not having really these issues. But still, PlayStation 4 users having them, Xbox having them, to where now there's a warning if you want to buy it in the Xbox store. So far, PC doesn't seem to have as many issues going on, which makes sense because CD Projekt Red kind of designs for that. So if you're looking for a refund, one thing of note, I want to say this right at the top. If you have a physical copy, you can still return that in certain places as well. Digital copies are getting refunds, but physical copy, if you bought it at Best Buy, you have today, that's December 21st, to get it back in. They will accept a physical copy if you can get it back in there, and you can get a refund from that. That's something normally they don't do with physical games, but that's something that you can do today. Again, PlayStation has their own policy going forward with that. A couple of other things that are happening. There is a potential lawsuit that's happening against CD Projekt Red, the creators of the game. They bunch of financial backers from Warsaw, Poland, that's where the company is based out of, are now saying that essentially that it's possible that they could sue them, saying that CD Projekt Red essentially lied about the readiness of the game and that their money, the money that they invested into this we could be talking about fraud allegations, all kinds of things that could come from that. That's something else that they're facing right now. Another issue for those of you who are concerned about the game is that this is something else that just came out today, is that if your save files could be corrupted if they get past a certain size. Nobody likes that. If you spend all this time playing a game, believe me, that is the last thing you want to have happen, is then have to start all back over again or start from a previous save spot. So that is something that's a big concern. So a lot going on with this. It's not going to end. And I think whatever happens here, you got to think that all the other game manufacturers and developers out there, even though they haven't had quite these issues, issues happen. There's always bugs. The fixes that CD Projekt Red said are going to come, or maybe later this week. They've issued some already, but then in January, February, they said the major ones will come. But nonetheless, it is a conundrum. It's a mess. So you'll want to follow along with that if you do have a copy. I wanted to get a copy. I'm going to wait. I'm one of those ancient people using PlayStation 4, so we'll hold off on that. That's a trending story right now. Continuing on with more trending news, let me say this. I'm not going to spoil anything that Star Wars hasn't spoiled publicly already. So I'm not going to spoil the end of The Mandalorian Season 2. You watch that. I won't say it, although if you haven't watched it yet, you're running out on the time limit, I think, of how that's going to get spoiled for you, or you just have to be offline forever. Nonetheless, Star Wars did make some announcements today on their Twitter account, and one of those does have to do with something that was revealed, but this is not having to do with the story. So it's that there is another series. In addition to those 10 series, Star Wars series they already announced last week for Disney+, now there's another one, The Book of Boba Fett, which is coming December 2021. So that is another one they did not announce, and actually Jon Favreau's involved with it. Of course, that guy who's the head of the Mandalorian, Robert Rodriguez, is going to be involved in this one, and it's kind of a fourth one that takes place during this time of the Mandalorian. So you have Ahsoka Tano, it's going to be happening, Rangers of New Republic, and now the Book of Boba Fett. So that's 4 different series, all in the same timeline. The previous 3 that were announced, with including the Mandalorian, we're supposed to be having a crossover event, so we expect that to happen too. Disney also posting on Twitter a happy birthday to Samuel L. Jackson with a picture of him as Mace Windu. So does that mean there's a Mace Windu series coming? Probably. At this point, you have to assume that nobody is dead. Everybody is coming back. Jar Jar Binks will probably get a series at this point. There's going to be musicals. I've already said there's going to be an Ewoks musical. That's my bet. That's my guess on this. I mean, everything's coming back. And I will watch every single one of them. For sure. I'll watch every single series they put out, whether I agree with bringing somebody back or not. But I want to know your thoughts on this. If you're watching live, let us know in the comments, whether you're on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, or even afterward after this show is up. Again, I'm not going to spoil the end of the series, the end of the last season, but that is something that Disney has announced. So big news coming there from Disney+. Continuing on with trending news. Guess what? Elon Musk is posting things, and there's a lot of things he's posting. Some stuff he's getting in trouble for. I'll stick to the business side of things, and that has to do with Tesla. Now, we all know one of Tesla's goals is to have complete autonomous driving capabilities. And that's been out there to some extent for some Teslas already. There's a lot of legal limitations on what they can actually use, but some of the great demonstrations you've seen are where people can call their car to come to them from a parking lot, back when we could go places. But this is something that Tesla now is saying that could be rolling out next year. So this full autonomous driving, or autopilot, as the system is called, usually you had to pay about $10,000 extra to have the capability to do that. Now he's saying there's going to be a subscription service for it, which could drastically get that out to a lot more people. How much it's going to be, we don't know. There's some estimates where people put out that if it's a certain dollar amount a month, it could be a bargain. It could not work out over the life of the car if you're going to be using it. The bottom line is, though, he's saying that the tech is there and that they can actually put this out. So if they do roll out, again, there's going to be issues when it comes down to the legality. There's a lot of that has to be figured out before you're going to be able to use this in a bunch of different places. But still, that's something that they're doing. This comes on top of something else that he mentioned, which has to do with the Tesla Supercharger network. So if you have an electric vehicle, you got to keep it charged, especially if you're driving any long distance. You got to find some place to charge it. And Tesla has their own supercharger network. It's pretty vast, actually, compared to other companies across North America. They also have them in Europe. They use their proprietary charging technology, so you do have to have one of their cars or an adapter. However, that's where he's saying maybe this could change. It would make sense to start working with other auto manufacturers, and Elon Musk has said that that's on the way. So if that happens, you could see this could greatly expand the abilities of other electric vehicles. And if they invest into this network, you could have a even more robust network of charging stations and supercharging stations in particular, whether they have to get an adapter for the Tesla side or not. And there's also another report just talking about electric vehicles. And I think this is pretty key. If you're in the market for a new car right now, I think it's something you'd be interested in. And it's Bloomberg came out with this, saying that they believe because the price of batteries for electric vehicles are coming down so much, and that's really the key indicator of how much a car is going to cost when it comes to electric vehicles. Batteries are expensive, and the distance that you want to have them. There's all kinds of different factors. They're saying, though, that the price on those is going to go down enough that they think by 2023, you're going to be able to get an EV for cheaper than a gas vehicle. That's a pretty bold proclamation, but by 2023, that electric vehicles could be cheaper. I think that does fall in line with what a lot of countries, at least, are trying to shoot for and trying to anticipate. There's a lot of countries in Europe that are looking to ban the sale of gas vehicles after a certain number of years, and that's coming up pretty soon. So electric vehicles could be cheaper than we think, and a lot sooner. So if you're in the market for a new car in the next couple of years, that's something to pay attention to as well if you're looking at price. A couple other things to get you here with trending news, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you. I want to hear what you think in the comments as well. Let us know what you're thinking about all of this. So CES is on the way. Believe it or not, as I said at the top, it's December 21st, 2020. Somehow this is how far we've come. And the Consumer Electronics Show is right around the corner at the beginning of January, like the second week. It's not going to be in person anymore. Not to this year. It's going to be all virtual. We will be covering it extensively here for 2Box Live and 2Box Media, so you will want to follow us. We'll give you all the updates, fill you in on what companies are announcing, how they're announcing, which is going to be weird in its own right, but we'll keep you up to date. Here's something though that's coming out ahead of time, and it comes from phone manufacturer OnePlus. In the States, you may not be quite as familiar with them, but they are a major manufacturer. And something they did last year was they released a concept phone. You see a lot of this at CES. This is their newest one. Here's what it does. It changes colors. And it does maybe a little more than that. So it's not just a hypercolor phone. What they're saying is that this kind of shell that they've got that changes colors, that it can do a few different things. It's the tech behind it, they're saying utilizes something kind of similar to 5G, where it's millimeter waves that are bouncing off of it. They said it can read a room and adapt to that. Some potential things that it could do. They said, since it can kind of read everything, you could have gestures, like maybe it lights up green if there's a phone call coming in, and you could just use your hand to wave it off and say no. Another thing that it could do is even monitor your biometrics as far as if you're breathing. So it could use that and something along those lines when it comes to it. And if you think about all these devices being utilized for health and fitness more, that's something else they could add in there. So reading that. We don't know if this phone's ever going to actually be made, but I love seeing this kind of tech, and just when companies can show off what they can do, whether we want it, whether we need it, whether it even gets made. I mean, that's another question, but still, it's cool to see it. Whether that's something we're going to want, like I said, I don't know. I don't know if hypercolor phones are what we're going for, but still kind of a cool showcase there. And that's going to be something they're going to show more of here at CES, supposedly, if they haven't kind of shown it already. All right, last thing for our trending news. And then again, Rick Stella is going to be joining us here momentarily. This is a big day for everyone. If you like to look up at the sky, I kind of screwed up that intro there. I don't know what I was going to say there. Nonetheless, it's the Great Conjunction Day. So that is what we were talking about. The Great Conjunction Day. And it has to do with Jupiter and Saturn uniting virtually almost as one in the sky. This is, you've probably seen a lot of info about this. You've probably seen people talking about it online, but I just wanted to explain a little bit because it is today to actually see it in person or online, because there are a lot of live streams showcasing what is going on with it. But here's the deal. Jupiter and Saturn are going to be aligned so close that they will appear as one, essentially a star, because they'll be so bright. Now, there's a couple of different measurements you can say as how long this has been. One is that it was back in 1623 was the last time that they appeared so close, although not everybody in the world could see it then. So really the last time that it's been quite like this was 1226. That's how far back it goes for these two planets to kind of come so close together. And that's essentially because Saturn, I believe it's about 29 and a half years to rotate around the sun. Jupiter's about 12 years. For them to kind of line up like that, it doesn't happen very often, and to be also within the same plane. So that's what you're going to be able to see. There are different times depending on where you're watching, viewing. Maybe if you're in Europe, it might be right around now, maybe that you could see this, or in Australia. But for everybody else, there's a lot of live streams that are going on around the world that you can check it out with. It's pretty cool, or you can go see it yourself. And I would check look up at NASA or space.com, check one of those sites to see your local time on the best place to go to. But that is what we're looking at. It's the Great Convergence of 2021. Hopefully that's not a sign of something else, terrible for 2021, but nonetheless, it's happening. So might as well watch it as it all goes down. It's the Great Convergence, Jupiter and Saturn. All right, we are going to do this. We're going to take a quick break because we're going to get Rick Stella from Business Insider, who's going to be joining us to talk about home gyms and different ways you can set yours up, because that's really where we're at now, right? And especially with the New Year's coming up, resolutions, what do you need to get? What's the best way to do it? He's going to talk to us about a big article that they have up. And so that is coming up next. Stick around back here in a minute with more 2 Box Live. everyone. Welcome back to Two Box Live, TWO Box Media. Wherever you're at, wherever you're watching, hit subscribe, share the show, let other people know about it because we keep you up to date on all kinds of things. In addition to news, we have some great interviews, and that is what is coming up next. Joining us, we have from Business Insider, their health and fitness editor, Rick Stella, who is here on the show. Number one, I'm so excited to see Rick. It has been a while since we've been on the same screen for anything, let alone, I don't see anybody in person anymore. But also, you've got some great things in the works for Business Insider. Rick, hello.
It's good to see you again. It's nice to share the screen with you again, too. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, me too. And you've been doing some really great things over there at Business Insider, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, what you do over there in general, and in particular this article that you have out kind of showcasing some of the best ways to build a home gym.
Yeah, we, since the pandemic started last March, we had been working a lot on trying to figure out, how people are going to adapt to working out at home more often. And it's not necessarily something that's relatively new. Even when the pandemic started, people were already shifting to work out more at home. But this obviously changed everything that we viewed about at-home fitness, because you just couldn't go to the gym anymore, nor should you. So, from the very beginning, we were just trying to figure out a good way to help people learn how to put together a home gym that was not going to be crazy expensive, wasn't going to take up a whole lot of room. So we just have this sort of like this running guide of the best at-home gym equipment. And we add to it every so often and keep it updated. We're constantly testing out this stuff to see how feasible it is to recommend it for people to use at home, and just whether or not it's something that we can actually, stand behind and recommend to people. So that's sort of where it came from. We had the list even prior to the pandemic, but it has grown so much in the months, since, and now that we're all working out at home more often, obviously we use it all the time.
Well, and I think that's key too, that you've been testing this stuff out. So let's kind of go through, a few of these, and maybe to start off, there was one that was interesting to me that, admittedly, this is something that as somebody who would be starting to build one, this is why I would turn to knowledge about this, the TRX Home System. Can you walk us through what that is?
Yeah, so the TRX system, it's interesting. You've likely seen this. People would take this and either like work out at the park, or they use it. Yeah, you're showing the video here. Something that you'd see them like strung up at a tree at the park, and they're doing these sort of core and resistance workouts like you're seeing in this video. And this is great because it's very versatile. You can use it anywhere. You can use it at home. You can either string it up to something sturdy in your house, like a door, or if you have an outdoor workout space, or it's just even something that can just kind of help you work on body weight exercises and use resistance to help you work out. They're great. Obviously you can travel with them. Like I said, you can take them anywhere. You can set them up almost anywhere. You see here in the video how they were attaching it to that door with sort of an anchor system. So you don't like rip the door off of its hinges or anything. But yeah, these are great. And there's, an infinite amount of workouts that you can do to leverage this system. So this has been, one of our favorites that we've been using. And it's great for anybody in all workout types and all workout levels as well.
Nice. So it's a TRX Go system. So that does explain more, because I have seen people out and about using this. So that makes more sense now. Something else that I guess I didn't really think about, it just what a good workout it would be. And it's something that's fairly simple to get into, but that's jump rope.
Yeah, so jump roping, is such a good way to get some cardio exercise in. And the one that we had included on this is this jump rope set from this company called Crossroad. And what makes them unique is that it comes with two different weight variations. So you have either a half a pound or a quarter pound, depending on the set you get. And so what it does is, it obviously adds a little bit of weight to a standard jump rope, which may not seem like much, but the longer that you are jump roping, you can really feel that, in your forearms and just across your whole body. Like I said, it's a really great cardio workout, and just an easy way to, if you don't like running, or you don't like biking, or you don't have, say, like a Peloton or something, you can jump rope for a little bit, and get very similar sort of results as if you were doing cardio exercise every day.
Nice. And they, just another easy way that people can still stay in shape.
Yeah, exactly. And it
there,
doesn't, right. And it's not something that's like this set, what we hear, the Get Lean set, costs around $99, and which is, for a jump rope, may seem kind of expensive, but it comes with app access. Like I said, it comes with two different jump ropes that are highly durable, easy to use. And it's just something that we've found has been really fun to add to our at-home setup. And it's something that I've used all summer long too.
Really? Yeah. See, that's again, it's something that I wouldn't think about that would be a good thing to add in because to stay in shape. So going from there, from the jump rope, you've got. I was curious about this one as well, and really, I kind of picked and chose some ones off of this list, and I was like, I want to know more about this. The slam ball.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah.
What can you tell us
I like the selection of stuff you grabbed from this. Is great. The slam ball is interesting because you can use it for a various amount of things. Obviously, like by the name of it, the slam ball is something that you would grab and you slam onto the ground. They can help work out everything from your arms and your core. And but it's also, you can use it if depending on the weight of the slam ball that you get, you can use it for various things, almost as like an extra weight around the house. I know dumbbells are really hard to get these days. So anything that adds a little bit of weight that you can use for a variety of exercises, whether you want to do sort of like mock curls or you want to do like chest press, you can use a heavy slam ball to do this. But for the most part, it's something you can use even with squats or get some leg exercises as well too. And you'll see here in these videos, this guy's doing like a deadlift. And so it's just another like kind of versatile at home piece of equipment that you can use for several workouts. I think is like one of the most important things is that the equipment you buy for your at home gym should be able to satisfy multiple different workouts, not sort of be like a one trick pony, and you want to be able to have a versatile amount of things that you can do. And a slam ball is one of those things that it allows you to do it.
Yeah, because I mean, not only that for versatility and that, but just space alone, so that you don't have everything,
exactly.
A million different pieces of equipment.
Right.
Not everybody's got like a giant, home gymnasium to put everything in. So that's awesome. Something else that I also found pretty fascinating: the power block dumbbells.
Yeah, these are great. And I think the last two that would sort of go hand in hand to talk about would be both the dumbbells and a set of resistance bands. But with these power blocks specifically, what they do is you're talking about not taking up a whole lot of space. Dumbbells just by nature are, if you have multiple weights of them, do take up a lot of space in your home if you had them. And as you would notice, if you ever went to the gym, they have racks and racks of dumbbells across all weights. So what Power Block does is it allows you to it's just one contraption, allows you to sort of set how much weight you want to pull. As you can see here in this video as well, you're able to sort of customize how much weight you want to pull from the contraption itself. So it's all really self-contained within that within each of the two dumbbells. So it does take up, not very much space. These ones are very hard to find, as are dumbbells just in general. So, I think this would kind of lead into what we'll talk about next with resistance bands, and we can get into that in a second. But, these are great because of that versatility and because you can store them really easily. They are just very hard to find, as I'm sure you have seen already. Dumbbells are just really very difficult to find online right now.
Yeah, and that's one of the things too. We were kind of looking up a lot of this stuff and just trying to figure out where it was. But you mentioned resistance bands, as another way to go about that too.
Yeah, we've done some of this, a lot of reporting on this as well too, that resistance bands are a really great alternative to dumbbells because not only do they not take up much space, but you can do almost any lift that you would want to do with a dumbbell with a set of resistance bands, whether that's curls or you can do banded push-ups or deadlifts, shoulder presses, anything you want to do, you can use a set of resistance bands and really take like that lift to the next level. And it's a little bit even more versatile than dumbbells are because of this wide range of exercise that it allows you to do. So, these were something that we've been recommending for months because of the fact that one, they're available, two, they're inexpensive, and you can do so many more exercises than you would with just a simple dumbbell or a barbell or whatever you might have. So just like that versatility, I think is really key, especially when you're, wanting to invest in home gym equipment. And resistance bands have been the things that I've been coming back to a lot. And, we have an article up on the site of like dumbbells versus resistance bands, which is kind of has been like a hotly debated topic. And so at the end of the day, I mean, resistance bands, we recommend almost, 9 times out of 10, and because they can do so many things. So we've been like standing on that for a while. And I think resistance bands are sort of like an unheralded and underrated aspect of what you can add to your home gym.
It seems like such a simple thing, but I mean, like you said, that versatility and
right.
Of what you can do with those. Yeah. And that's kind of key. And that's why I love, just kind of what you've been doing there as far as the different articles and reviews and kind of summing up a lot of things, especially like I said, for somebody like me who doesn't have the extensive knowledge in it. This helps out tremendously. And Rick, I want to let people know too, for everything else that you're doing, where they can follow along with all this, what you would recommend, and then how they can follow you.
Yeah, definitely. So we have all of these are up at the Insider Reviews verticals at Business Insider and Insider as a whole. So you can take a look at there. We review everything. It's not just health and fitness equipment, but we also review home and kitchen equipment. We do everything from also like style and beauty to outdoors equipment. So you can take a look there. Where it's the title is Insider Reviews, and then yes, you can see here. You can find me on Twitter at Rick Stella. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, we are reviewing all of this stuff. So we want to bring, real perspectives and real reviews, into our articles and into our guides. So we're trying to get our hands on everything we write about and everything we recommend. So take a look at us there. We have a ton of guides, especially as we get into the new year and do more at-home fitness stuff.
Nice. Well, Rick, thank you for sharing all of this with us and having all these articles, but also it's really good to see you. Good to have you here on the show. And I'll talk to you soon. So Rick Stella right here on 2Box Live. Thank you so much, Rick.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was great to see you again. And I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day and happy holidays too.
Yeah, you too. Happy holidays, Rick. Rick Stella, seriously, that is awesome having him here on the show, and follow him, Rick Stella, on Twitter and everything they're doing over there, Insider. Really fascinating stuff. We appreciate that greatly, him coming here on the show, and I appreciate everybody who's watching right now too. Again, 2Box Media, TWO Box Media. We're newish, so we thank you for finding us as we get going here, and we've got a lot in the works for this show, and so sharing it is a great way to help support us. We do appreciate that a lot. Following us, letting us know what you want to talk about. Let us know your thoughts on what we bring up as well. Leave it in the comments, live or afterward. And normally we'll be live on Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. But this Friday, we're off. It's Christmas, so we're going to be off there. However, we've got an extra show for you on Wednesday. This Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, we'll be back with a special show, so you'll still get 2 this week. And we've got a lot of other things that are up as well on our YouTube channel, on Facebook, on Twitter. Like I said, I'll keep mentioning those things because we appreciate you following us, TWO Box Media, so that we get all the notifications. We've also, just looking a little bit ahead, we got a lot for CES coming up as well. We'll be covering everything that comes out with that, so follow along with us. Thank you very much on behalf of Mike Solis and Jess Serba as well. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for watching. We'll be back on Wednesday with more 2Box Live.